Hi everyone, hope you are all well and welcome back to the Great Graduate Job Hunt and my series. Today I'm going to talk about some workplace skills 101. And I've narrowed it down to sort of the 3 Ps, I call it, because I think these are something that you wouldn't naturally think about until you sort of got yourself into a job. So what are the 3 Ps, you ask me? Well, I actually have them written down. Number 1, prioritise. 2, positivity. And 3, proactive. So today's video, I'm just going to talk about these 3 Ps that I've come up with myself, as I think they're pretty useful. So, number 1, prioritise. So, when you go into a job, majority of the time you will have to prioritise a lot of tasks, or if you're in a client-facing role, you'll have to prioritise clients. Now, I've been on both sides of this spectrum, and I've often found it quite hard on learning how to do this prioritisation, especially when it comes to clients. So, for example, what do I mean by this? If a client asks you to do something and it may not be feasible for your company to action that, I found it quite hard to say no, and that's something that I'm learning about in my new role, and that's how it ties into prioritisation. And I think the more you become comfortable in your role and the more you understand the remits that you're within, makes it easier to prioritise. But also it's just understanding where the cause for action actually is. So that one isn't something that's, I'm not giving sort of a solution to that, but I think it's something that you need to be aware of in the back of your mind. And a great example is obviously when you're at university, you have lots of tasks to do, lots of assignments to submit, research to do, and in that sense you need to plan your time out and maybe do a things to do list, which is very popular in the workplace. I use it myself and I find it pretty useful, so perhaps adopt that method for you and see how it goes. But I'd be interested if other people have any other suggestions on how they prioritise, and perhaps they could share them. The next one is positivity. So positivity is something that I've spoken about being positive during your job search. But what about when you're in a job? What does being positive look like? Well, it starts off from the simple things like having a smile on your face and having sort of a bounce in your step. But obviously it's quite hard to always have this, especially in a new job when you're quite tired and you're absorbing a lot of information. But another different way to look at positivity is also in a teamwork setting. And I've realised that this isn't an obvious one, but it's about providing solutions to problems. And managers look often for individuals that can do this within a team, and it really helps to boost morale. Luckily for me, I have the advantage of having been at another firm, and I realised that this was also something that I could improve on, and I brought my knowledge to my team of how things were better in this environment, or what the worst case scenario could be. And I think this is pretty useful of bringing everyone back to earth. And I think everyone always thinks that the grass is always greener on the other side. So try that attitude, or try even suggesting that you have that skill in your interview, because I'm sure that's something that is sort of off-piece and sort of recruiters won't expect you to say that. And then finally, my last P is proactive. Now this is something where the definition is, you sort of take initiative with your tasks or your job search, for example, But what does that look like when you're in a job? Proactive, you have the benefit of being proactive because you're coming to the organisation with a fresh new slate and a fresh new take on things. So in my instance, I've made the use of this by asking the questions other people haven't been asking or have got too fed up to ask. That's a prime question. Prime example. And another way is sort of be eager. For example, in my role, it's very dependent on knowing what's happening in the news. So I'm quite proactive to ask those questions as I'm eager to learn. I think people often, when they've been in a job for a long time, forget what is commonplace knowledge and what is actually working place knowledge. And it sort of reminds them of these things which might help them improve themselves in their role when they're explaining to clients in everyday settings. So I hope you find the 3 Ps useful. Just to go over them again. Number 1 was prioritise. Number 2 was proactive. Just to go over, the 3 Ps were number 1, prioritise, 2, positivity, and 3, proactive. I hope you find these really useful. Do let me know if you implement them and let me know what the follow-up was after that. But I will leave you now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and I hope to see you guys all soon.